Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song, in the old neighborhood. As the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. Guys, I want to say happy 2024. I know I have been away. You know, I took a trip. That's right, back to the Gambia. But I want to say hello to everyone, and I hope everyone is doing well. And I want to welcome you guys back to the Afridamus Report. Guys, if you remember, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I've done many videos right here on this channel. You know, before I delve into this, I just let me just lay out, you know, what we're going to do out here. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys know, you know, some of you that are great fans of this show, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. You guys were very aware that, you know, I have been in absentia. I left the classroom right here at the Afridamus Report for a whole semester. And, you know, sometimes the professor himself has to be out there to do some field training, because I cannot always just be in the studio giving you guys the report about situations all the way in Africa. And when I say Africa over here, you know, I'm going to dissect it and we're going to come straight to by country. And it's not going to be about, oh, who is the best of this, who is good at that. Today, I'm going to focus on my own experience living Black in Gambia. That's right. You guys heard me. I was Black over there. Despite sometimes speaking the language, I was still seen as Black. And I'm going to, you know, walk you guys straight into my world of living Black in the Gambia. There is a great advantage to being Black in the Gambia, because you see the undercover work that the Blacks needed. I went to the Gambia and I did the work. Guys, this is what this school is all about. Today, you're going to receive valuable information that you can use to your advantage instead of just being naive. If you remember a few months ago, I did a show right here where I was analyzing this video. The lady, she's Nigerian. She was here in the States. She worked for 40 years. 40, 40. So she worked hard, used her credit card, because, over here in the United States, people work hard. And she kept sending money to Nigeria. She wanted to build her dream world. She wanted to build, nice big house. A lot of you that are watching me, whether you're from an African country or not, or now most Black people have caught the African bug, which I support, because going there for a whole quarter to learn, what it takes to live there, what is needed, what services do you need, what is legal, what is not legal, what tactics do these scamming stories that you hear, how do they utilize these tactics, the corruption, the bribery? And I'm going to give you the answers on how to respond to it. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you. So this woman I was talking about, she was building, I put that in quotes, building in Nigeria, which many people in the diaspora, Africans, especially in the diaspora, there is many in this same situation. Many. So this is why I had to go there for all these months, to live amongst the people, to collect nothing but data while living as a Black American in the Gambia. It's the most amazing and beautiful experience. You guys will not even begin to imagine the things I went through being Black in the Gambia. Please make sure you hit the like if you haven't already done so. And please take out your pen and pad, because whether you're from Nigeria, whether you're from Detroit, whether you're from, Ghana, Kenya, wherever, please take your pen and pad, because I am going to walk you into a world that you yourself, you're going to refuse that world exists. I'm talking psychological warfare. The psychological warfare that's been waged against you living in the West. How you're being emotionally blackmailed, manipulated into being other people's slave. So please get your pen and pad and listen carefully and start taking notes. And this is not about you becoming jaded, but it will help you see how the people really think. How are you seen? I'm sure most of you are going to be in denial about what you're going to hear, but these are going to be facts. Ignore them at your own peril. I had to go through this. I'm talking firsthand experience, and I'm going to take you all the way from the beginning up to where we are right now. The things I went through, the things that people, they come here, like they talk about the blackity black stuff, the Pan-Africanism thing. Oh, we're going to go to Gambia or these places to save the people. By the end of today's broadcast, you would get your answer. If you are supposed to be in the business of saving yourself, being realistic with yourself, and truly fighting for your future, or you're just going to let people walk all over you, people that are not even that sophisticated, but they're just going to use some type of, manipulation that through your consent, you end up becoming a victim to it. Just like the woman in Nigeria. She was sending money to her brother, supposed to be building a structure. I showed the video here. When she got there, she fell on the ground. And this is what is going to be the story for many because of what I have uncovered, what I have seen. Today, this broadcast would make you rethink everything. It would make you rethink everything. So let's go to the beginning. So you guys know, right? We were talking, people talk about, the real estate business in Gambia. You guys remember Juliet and others, they were selling land. So, yes, land now have become gold over there in the Gambia. Why is it gold? There is rapid development that is taking place in that small country. You see? So people need tangible, I'm talking tangible asset. That's what they need. So now every little Joe Blow is into selling lands. That's what they are into. So some people have come on the internet, they have convinced many of you because, you have the desire and you talk yourself into trusting what they are telling you. I'm starting with the internet people because, see, the internet people have access to the internet. They can talk to you, they know your language. You see, they can talk to you. So, what did they do? They came out here after talking to the people on the ground. You see, the people on the ground, they have their own game. They have their own little game that they play. Like we hear stories like they sell land to three different people, and then you, the person, you would become jaded and say, "Oh, look at these Africans! They just scammed me," you know. But they are doing. This is a game that is being played. So how can you trust somebody to be your agent in a place where they do not even understand the language that these people are speaking? I know many of you have been mesmerized and deceived, and you fell for the fantasy, the illusion of, we all black, blah, 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 as if people think alike. People do not think the same. You coming from America, you are seen as the ATM. You are the bag. You're the opportunity. And they've already created this fantasy that now your job, your only job is to come there and drop the bag, meaning the money. The stay is supposed to be temporary. You are dealing with the people who are not thinking about investments. They are not thinking about what you are thinking about. Just like that woman in the video, you know, that sent the money to the brother to build the mansion, which some of you probably are in that situation. Start praying to God. May God be on your side, right? Of course, this story is not going to apply to everybody, but we've heard too many of similar stories, or we've met people that this has happened to. So therefore, you would have to go with the idea of, yes, I would trust, but verify, verify things, which was the mission that I was on, plain and simple. Because I didn't just want to, speculate, analyze the videos, or not ever going through the real steps. I've heard the stories about people, just about this, what I was saying here. They would sell the land to three different people. These things does happen. It's like the wild, wild west. You know, like there's no regulation pretty much. And you have people taking advantage of that. And then you have an agent who doesn't speak the language. You don't speak the language. Um, your agent just wants to run game on you, but now to navigate these other agents over here, the local agents, that in itself is a whole different ball game. The rules are completely different. Everything you think you know, trust me, you would find out when you apply it directly. It's not going to work. Things work because people want it to work. You have to understand the environment that you are in. You take it slow. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Before I even go deeper, is I would say if you were someone who, you were in America, the UK, wherever, you decided, like you sent money to somebody to buy you land, and this land is still yours, praise to you. You are a lucky person. You're a lucky person. I've always been a firm believer. If I am to acquire land, I have to step foot on that land. I have to connect spiritually. I have to feel that land, become one and the same, not based off of somebody else's idea. So, less than 2 years ago, I'll take you to the beginning. Last time I visited the Gambia. So, while I was there, I was able to acquire some lands, you know, nice piece on the water. And, I've always wanted to be a farmer. But you see, now I found myself in a territory where, sure, I don't know what to, how these people are going to react to what I want to do. Um, I don't know what their intentions are. But one thing I believed in is what I want. I am focused on what I want. I want to see through to it that this get done, because I cannot control how other people think or how they see situations. But the way I react to what's in front of me is what matters. That I have control over. So I've been collecting data. Every story that I hear is how somebody got scammed, someone got beat, and I come here, I deliver the information, even though you guys know I tell you it's the best edutainment show on this side of heaven. Please make sure you hit the like and share it too. A lot of things I take into consideration, and I I truly looked into them. So while I was there, ladies and gentlemen, what did I do? When I bought the land, I made sure, that, because I've heard about the Alcalo paper. So ding, 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 that rings that, okay, this Alcalo paper by itself must not be just good enough, you know? So I did my digging. You need more than all that. So I'm like, okay, now I showed up. Obviously, I got a blue passport. I have the American dollars. This is a great advantage. I don't know why some of you still go over there. You're not utilizing your advantage. You're a big man. Act like it. You see? So I showed up and I said, look, I would give you X amount, not all the money. Listen to this. That's why I need you to pull your pen and pad out. Don't be too emotional. Don't jump in talking about Pan Africanism and then you come back to the internet here and cry. So what would I have looked like if I came here and cried after giving all the advice, analyzing all these videos? So it's not only good enough here to do it right here, I had to go in. So I gave them, like 3/4 of the money. So I said, I want this, 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 this. And I understand that they were supposed to pay taxes on the land, selling it. The government gotta get their cut. So a lot of people from the diaspora, black people that go there, they end up getting, stick with that because they are so excited. They're like, oh, I'm running away from white supremacy. Now I got my own land. But little did you know, the document that they are giving them, just that one. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody have already figured this out and made video about it, but I have not seen it yet. I don't know why every story that I have been delivering here, you would have think by now somebody would have figured this out and start letting people know, no. Just having that one paper, that alcalo paper, is not good enough. The GRA paper, which is the capital gains tax paperwork, you are not supposed to pay that. Here's how you do it, just like I did. Give them 3/4, say, you want all those documents. They are supposed to do the job. And of course, naturally, the Gambians, they're going to come back and try to sweet talk you. They're going to try to tell you that how busy they are. Smile, but deep down, you do not give a damn about how busy they are. You don't care. That sounds like a personal problem. This is the attitude you must have. Just like they smile at you, you smile right back. But stand on those principles, because it would be foolish of you to hand over all your money and not make sure you got all your ducks in a row. This is why all those people that you were seeing coming up here crying, this is the process they went through. And of course, somebody will be like, oh, how come they didn't know? Well, it's a place where they keep you in the dark on purpose. On purpose. Acquiring land is easy. The place is for sale, by the way. It's not like Ghana, where in Ghana, they have like the local chiefs who are the custodians of the land. They own it, even if you buy it, right? They get to dictate to you. Now, over in the Gambia, individuals own the land. Families own the land. So I put myself, straight into their mindset right away. Don't forget, I'm from there. So I'm able to switch back and forth. So they are convinced, okay, he's just black. He's just a black American. He don't know. But I use that to my advantage. That means now I can pry further and ask further questions. I can make further requests. But you see, since you don't know what to request, you want to go by emotion. Oh, it's all black people. Everything is good. People are smiling in your face and scamming you, plotting against you, plotting on how to get you to lose, plotting against you how to get you to give that free money so that you can end up coming back on the internet and crying foul. The information is in the dark. But here's what you need to understand. Understand your value. Okay? You're the one with the blue passport. You're the one with the Benjamins. Use that to your advantage. You got what they want. You see? The business will not take place without you. You've become an opportunity. So you have to guard that properly. Become like a honeycomb. The honey is dripping. Yes, give them the feeling that they are going to get the honey. But you also have to make sure that you get everything that you want. Don't be in a hurry. People are going to try to rush you, of course. You know, they are going to tell you their personal problem. You notice I use the word personal problem. Do not fall for it. Because if you fall for it, you are going to get a bad taste in your mouth. And you're going to come here on the internet and cry. So just make sure you follow this step properly. And then I move on to say, once we sign the Alcalo paper, witnesses are there. Since it's a family owned land, freehold, family owned, I request that they invite all everyone who's got a stake in this, anyone that is part of the family who is considered, who can get inheritance from this land. I need a photocopy of their IDs, front and back. You're wondering, Afridamus, why do you need front and back? Why do you need copy of the ID? Because it's a family land. Because somebody can come back, guess what? One person down the line, you can buy that land and start doing your thing. They show up and be like, oh, look at it. They sold my father's land or my great grandfather's land. And, I did not give consent to this. So now, guess what? You are tied up in court. And of course, the people who sold it to you, you would think they would come to your rescue. No, now they got new ideas on how to make money. Because don't forget, you are the ATM. You are seen as the bag. Okay? So, but if you have IDs, if someone ever pops up in the future, you could be like, oh, hold up. Isn't that you? That's you, right? All right. So you need to go chill. So you've covered yourself there. And then the capital gains tax. They have to pay taxes on selling the land to you. They take care of that. They do official transfer up to you lease it. This shouldn't take long at all. This should not take long. So now I did all this. I'm like secure. I'm like, yeah, I got my land. Everything is good. So I employed overseer over my land, because I'm running this like it's a corporate business. So I have the overseer. He managed the project to have the place fenced. You guys have seen the guy's video. He's been on my show here several times. But once I give you the story, it's going to blow your mind, because you see, in Africa, especially Gambia, which I've heard other stories, the people they have patience. They can wait. They can lay low for you. They got a plan. You see? They would pretend they would go along, but they have a plan. So you have to listen to conversations, engage people in conversations, ask questions. But I made sure I protected myself legally. So the person I put in charge to run the affairs has a different plan than mine. This is Africa we're talking about. Of course, they try to put their African juju spirits on me and all that. Guys, you might think I'm making this up, but this is real. I went through the experiment for you so that when you see the signs, you know exactly what you are dealing with. The things that you don't even imagine. To you, you are like, no, there's no way anyone would think like that. That's not even real. Oh, no, it is real. So at the time prior, so I'm over there, right? So this is why I say living black. You guys pay attention to this because some of you, just like me, others, you go there, you live in your black life. You are a tourist. They are serving you tea, you know, you're being served tea. In that tea, ladies and gentlemen, they put their African juju in it, that dark spirit. You guys, some of you would say that never works. No, it don't. In fact, the last time when I was there, that was almost 2 years ago. When I came back, I was super confused. You know, it's like because they were putting stuff in my tea. So this time I went back again. I went back, ladies and gentlemen, and this same guy. So before I returned, you know, his shenanigans, his scammy ways were exposed. So I had to fire him and put a new manager in place. You have to you have to be proactive. You have to be proactive. You can't just wait. Okay? That's what a lot of you lack. So ladies and gentlemen, so when so now, right? I'm like, okay, wait. What is going on? Because the left side of my neck was feeling tight and all that stuff. This is like the first time when I came back. I was like, man, what is going on? You know? And also I'm thinking, so this guy, you know, he would call me. So when he calls me, you know, he's supposed to be giving me report on my project. But no, you know, everything he's talking about is, you know, about him, what concerns him. You know, like this guy would ask me for extravagant things. Like this guy would ask me to send him a car, like open him a business and all. So I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? Like I'm all confused. I'm like, I employed this guy to run my stuff for me. Now this guy is asking me for all these things, and this is not free. So I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me, you know, so I'm all suspicious. So I'm taking it slow, like I'm delaying stuff. So the best investment that I did, my place is a farm. So farm requires work. So it would be hard to get somebody to get, you know, lots large cash out of them. So now I'm listening to this person. I'm listening to this person, you know, I'm gathering information. Most of you do not know how to gather information. So I'm gathering information. So I'm hearing things. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. You know, like, I'm like, I'm at the mercy of this guy. So mind you, this guy has at the time had documents of my land. He had the documents. So I had to keeping him on the, you know, on the phone. I was not talking about this stuff on YouTube because the guy watches my channel. So I could not give this information out. So I had to be tight-lipped. I had to just pretend like this did not exist. I had to pretend like everything is good. But I'm also, you know, doing my thing. So what I did was, the other guy that became the manager, he's my relative. I sent him to the farm to go see what's happening. But prior to sending him, I have bought some livestock. So I'm into farming, mixed farming. So I bought those Senegalese sheeps. They call them the ladums. I think I'm frozen here. Let me see. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? All right. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see. Let me read some of these comments before I proceed. DG, thank you for the super chat. It's a welcome back, Afridanos. We missed you. I missed you guys too. Guys, please don't forget to hit the likes and the super chat. Uh, Astro said, "You sound paranoid." No, I promise you, I am not paranoid. I'm telling you real stories here. The guy on loses mind. Nah, I am not losing my mind. Afridamus, stay away from weed. It makes you paranoid. You tried being born in the Gambia. No, I promise you. Zongo said, Predamus, it seems those dusty Africans treated you like a privileged American and not a true Gambian citizen. You are not different from the FBA. I mean, something like that. Sorry about that, guys. So, guys, where was I? So literally, at this point, um, the guy, you know, he is telling other people that, this is his own project, and I've heard stories like this is even white people, this has happened to them where they get baited into, to say, partnership business in the Gambia, right? And guys, I'm just gonna lay it out. This is ruthless. Like, the guy would act weak, but then they move in, and it's sad what would happen to you. Guys, make sure you get the likes up. And please put a one, let me know you guys can hear me. So now, like I said, I discovered the guy. So when I returned, right, this time around, I encountered something similar. But mind you, previously, that was my first time experiencing that, but I did not know. But I was lucky, I stood my ground because I sent another individual who was my relative to go check things out for me because he was taking care of my livestock. I have some sheep and goats. And the sheep, these are the high price sheep. The Senegalese sheep, they call them ladums. One, like, literally, it's $1,000, like the baby one, to buy one. So we're talking about, I have spent thousands of dollars on these animals, and I bought like goats. These are just not any other goats. These are like exotic goats, the big tall ones. So I'm like, all right, this guy, he is into these animals and I'm into it. So why not? I'm thinking I'm putting him on. You see, this is where, but either way, I need him to go confirm my suspicions for me. So I send him to the farm because at the time it was time to harvest the groundnuts, the peanuts, which I was growing because it's a self-sustaining farm. This farm is going to be feeding the animals. I would no longer be buying animal feed for them, the livestock feed, because I have vast land. I can just grow my own feed. This is the whole plan. So hold on, let me thank some of you here for these super chats. Uh, let's see. Johnny Zola, thank you for the super chat here. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Astros, thank you for the super chat as well. So yeah. Um, at this point, I am fully invested. Mimi, don't worry. I'm gonna get to that part. I'm gonna get to that part. So, guys, you are over here. I mean, myself, I'm over here. I'm working hard. I'm like, okay, I'm taking care of business. You know, um, this is investment, and I'm paying these people. So, in reality, the word that I was being given is not real. So I had to think fast and smart. So this other guy who was in charge, he created a disconnect. I was not able to talk to the actual guy that performed the work on the land. In fact, he concocted a story. He fired that guy and told me the guy quit, right? This was in the middle of the season, and I'm like, man, things are getting crazy. But you see, if things don't make sense to you, you should always follow what you're thinking. So the guy, this was supposed to be about dispute over money. And he said he offered the guy certain amount. He's saying the guy refused that. But now I ended up having to pay like 10 times the amount of that. So all along I was willing to pay, but like I said, you're being put in the dark. In the dark. So you fail in your endeavors. They'll be like, oh, okay, now let's do this. So when I sent the guy there, my intention now, I know for a fact I don't trust none of these guys. But since they are both hungry hyenas, now this new hyena has an interest in giving me the real information that would help me get rid of this guy. And now that I would put him in charge, so that would buy me time to figure out what is happening. So just as I thought, the guy went, boom, uncovered things. Now I'm able to buy time. I fired this guy, put this guy in charge. So I keep on moving, just matching. And the new guy in charge, who is a relative of mine, was even way, way more ruthless, guys. Way ruthless. Prices started going up. So, mind you, the groundnut that mind you, over months, I paid so much money to to grow it in my farm, so I can feed my livestock, and he has my livestock with him. He has it with him. So you would think it's in both of our interests for us not to buy the food, because now I'm growing the food. Oh, no, 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 no. He had a different idea. So he collected the bags of the, groundnut hemp. This is the leaves that the livestock eat. and they told me the amount. I'm all excited, bruh. Within a month, he told me it was done. So this guy sold off all that, and then now he started charging me money to buy groundnut hemp for my own livestock. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is what most of you are dealing with. So now it's very clear to me. I was like, okay, this guy is clearly taking me for a ride. He's scamming me. So now he's got tens of thousands of dollars of my belongings, my assets. If I move, hard right now, I'm thousands of miles away. There's nothing I can do. So let me just play along. Let me play the fool that he thinks I am. I would like, I'm like, I can afford to, drip, drip, feed him a little bit here and there just to, keep him in the loop, to convince him that he is in fact in charge. You see? So at this point, I don't have any other option right there in the Gambia. Like, so I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So while I'm pondering on that, now I'm dude, I can't even, I'm just now, I can laugh at this, but this was traumatizing. It was crazy. So I'm trying to keep my cool, and the guy hit me with the news that, my big billy goat, I'm talking about this big goat. I bought the goat young. The goat is now, big. I'm talking looking good. I'm excited. I'm like, man, that's my goat. I'm like, this goat is looking good. This goat, I ordered this goat all the way from Senegal. I paid special transport for this goat to be transported into the Gambia. So I'm attached, right? I've been watching videos of the goat. The goat is looking good. Nice. And then the guy hits me up telling me this goat, he slaughtered the goat because the goat looked like he was gonna die. Like the goat all of a sudden is sick. So he didn't want the goat to die. And the story was the goat, this is a goat that is kept indoors. The goat doesn't go out to fend. I buy food for the goat. And he hit me with the story that the goat, in fact, ate like some plastic. Man, I was like, dude, that's weird. How did that happen? Guys, believe it or not, I said it like this in a calm way because I'm thinking, man, this is wild. This is wild. So he slaughters the goat, guys. He slaughters the goat, and he sends me a mini video of my goat getting skinned, ladies and gentlemen. And guys, can you imagine the pain I was going through? I'm like, man, what can I do? I can't do anything. So now I had to pretend again that everything is good because he eliminated the big billy goat. Now I've got my expensive sheeps with him and the rest of the other goat. So if I make a big deal out of it, guess what? The goats are going to come up sick again. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to buy time. I'm going to buy time. Let me distract this guy. So I was like, okay, hey, check this out. I want to build some buildings on my farm. I want you to run this for me. He was like, sure. But this guy is dual scammer. This guy cannot be distracted. Following week, following week, I get hit with another video. Now, one of my expensive ships, the ladums, you know, came up dead. I was like, oh my God. Now I'm losing it. And prior to that, the ship gave birth to two little ships, and he said one of them died. So now I'm panicking, I'm like, okay, just calm down, just calm down. And I- I'm like, I'm calm. I'm like, oh, this is painful. This is painful. But I'm just calm. So I'm moving on with what I planned. So now I was like, all right, we're going to plant some corn and groundnuts on the farm. And at the time, the guy that is doing all the work on the farm, I sent his salary. He was not delivering the guy's salary for 3 months. Now that guy also became restless. He wants to be in contact with me. So at the time, I already asked this guy for this guy's contact. He said, nah, this guy, he doesn't even have a phone. This guy is a bushman. I was like, man, this is wild. But the blessings came from when I needed somebody to go build structure on my farm. So I said I wanted a storage. So he picked his own, mason guy who was gonna do the job for me. He picked that person for me. I was like, okay. I asked for credentials. He's like, no, he's good. And they sent me some photo, whatever, that he built something. So now bringing that guy to come and do the work on my farm, that became the blessing for me. Because now he met the guy there who does all the work. I sent the money for them to start out with 100 bags of cement, to start the project. So the guy goes, he buys 50 bags. Mind you, at the time, he had total autonomy, total control. He thought, okay, the guy he brought who's supposed to be building is under his command. So he's letting him know, look, this is your time for you to come up. Because I started learning that what they do over there, when you think someone is doing the work for you, you put them in charge. When you send the money, like he bought, when I wanted 100 bags of cement. He bought me 50 bags of cement. So now the other 50 is going to go for his own building project. So no wonder, most of you in the diaspora, it takes you forever to build anything. And then you go over there, they have built themselves big mansions. I mean, of course, it's not all, but these stories are so prevalent that, you know, I mean, you would have to believe it. I've seen it with my own eyes. So the guy became restless, So next door to me, I acquired another land there at the time. And he figured out a way to get, my phone number from that guy. And the guy got in contact with me and he revealed everything to me. I was like, thank you. So now I'm armed with information. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, how many bags of cement did you buy? He was like, oh, 100. I was like, oh, can I speak to the to the suppliers, so because I want him to bring more. So the guy is all of a sudden now dancing around. So I asked him again to give me the phone number of the guy who is building my storage on my farm, because now that guy, that guy is now in the same place with the guy that is working on my farm. So he knows now I'm going to get the real information. He was like, oh, okay. I'll send it to you right now. 24 hours goes by. I didn't get anything. So I called him the next day. I was like, hey, you never sent me that phone. He's like, I was taking a shower. I was like, oh. I was like, okay, why don't you just give it to me right now? He's like, okay. And he pretended to forget again. And because in Africa, they count on that. They want you to forget. But I was just testing it. And I'm like, you know what? F these people. I'm going to push all the limits all the way through. I'm going to uncover what is happening here. Eventually, long story short, so I conspired with the guy that works there. I said, tell him, if you don't get your salary, you are going to quit and you're going to seize all the bags of cement. Oh, he lost it. He was like, no, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, now I found out and I made it known to him that I am aware. So within that week, the guy what he scammed from me was like over $1,000. And the moment I gave the information that, I found out, and I told him he can no longer run the farm, I said, just take care of the sheep. He asked me to send him money right away for the sheep. I was like, wait a minute. I said, you just took over $1,000 of my money, which is a lot of money in the Gambia. He's like, nah, I don't have any money. I was like, where's the money? He's like, look, man, I don't have any money. So right away, I was like, damn. I was like, I am dealing with a psychopath here. A lot of you have psychopathic relatives in Africa, but you're so naive. You are emotionally manipulated. You don't want to accept it. I was like, man, this guy is like the Jeffrey Dahmers of livestock. Guys, you will not believe what I'm about to tell you. This is going to blow your mind. Even myself, I could not. Look, this next chapter, you're not going to believe this happened. Okay? So the guy now, I'm telling him now, my money that you scammed me out of, and before that, I sent money for you to buy food for my livestock. You are not doing that. So he was like, yo, man, you gotta send me you gotta send money for me to buy food for the livestock. They don't have anything, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, this guy is a ruthless guy. I mean, like, this guy is making everything clear to me. And in fact, he said to me, oh, I'm on your side. He's like, I've got, tens of thousands of your investment in my possession here, and so, like, I'm like, okay, is he sending me a message to let me know you better do what I say or else? And guys, that's exactly what the message was. Get the likes up, guys. That's what the message was. Guys, don't forget to hit the super chats and get the likes up, okay? You put things past these people. But the guy was like, nah, man, I get, in fact, all of a sudden he told me in a voicemail. This is WhatsApp. He sent me a voicemail He's like, he sent a video of, my one of my little goats. Mind you, this goat is one of the goats from the big billy goat that he killed and ate. So luckily now, I'm able to have, before the goat, was put on the grill, because let's just put it that way. Before the goat was put on the grill, luckily the goat, was able to give, like, leave something behind. So the goat left two little goats behind, a male and a female. So this guy sends me a video, and in this video, he says to me, "Look, man, I've told you to send me money and you're not, and now look at it, man. This goat is gonna die." Something like, guys, I could not believe this. I was like, nah, this guy is, I was like, nah, he's tripping. The next day, guys, I get a video. This is like a terrorist, like literally, the guy at this point is terrorizing me. He sent me a video of my dead goat. Guys, this might sound funny to you, but like, this happened to me. This is why, like, you guys were not seeing me on YouTube, because I was too upset. Like, I could not believe what I found myself in. He sent me a video and he tells me, "Look, man, I tried to tell you, but you had to push me." Wow. I was like, what? So now the goat is dead. All right. I would say a week prior to that, my high price sheep, the sheep that cost a lot more, had given birth to a young sheep. Because, guys, when he sent me the video, I did not respond. Because I was like, man, the hell? Like, I was like, what am I supposed to do? So, guys, the next day, I swear, literally the next day, he recorded a video of the young sheep. And in the video, he says to me, "Oh, look at how beautiful this sheep is. It would be so sad if something happened to it because you don't want to send money." I'm like, guys, like, I woke up and I saw this message. I was like, is this, like, is this real? I'm like, am I dealing with a Jeffrey Dahmer's here? Like, I could not believe this. So I was like, okay, wait, I'm going to like pull one more move here. I'm going to pull a move. So I threatened him. I called him and I threatened him. Right? And when I threatened him that I'm gonna, look, you better not do anything to my sheep. I'm going to, like, send the police and all that. Like, so at this point, the guy cuts off communication between us. So sometimes he would, like, record the young sheep, the young vulnerable sheep, or the young goat, and just send me their video, but not the rest of the other animals. So exactly, and now he took my sheep's hostage. So, guys, this is why my move going to Gambia, I did not announce it here. I was dealing with a hostage situation down there. Hostage situation. I could not believe this. I was like, my goodness. This is crazy. So now like I'm in the complete dark. Mind you, I'm in the dark. I don't have any other spies now to go do the work for me. This is why people is good to be friendly. Wherever you go, talk to people, conversate, because you never know who would come in handy. And not all people are bad. So while I was in the Gambia the last time, I had a conversation with this guy, interesting guy, nice guy, and he asked for my phone number to exchange. He works in the security sector. So, sure. And, I talked to him a couple of times. So, he, friendly guy, nice guy. So I was like, man, who else do I have? So I called him. I thought about him. I called him. I was like, hey, this is my situation. My sheep and goats are held hostage. I don't know anything about them. So if you can help me, I gave him the address and I arranged for trucks. But prior to doing that, now this guy was sending me voice messages telling me, you need to come and get your sheep and goats, or else I'm going to starve them. I reached out to some people, even some of the people on YouTube that do the livestock thing over there. Some of them, they were not of no help. In fact, they were discouraging me, telling me to sell my stuff off. You see? So I contacted that officer and I put a team together. So I had to deceive the guy. I called him up. I sent him a voicemail. I was like, hey, on Monday, I sent some money. You can go collect it. This is just to buy me time. I did that on a Friday, but I planned on, carrying out this operation on a Sunday. So because he would be there excited saying, yeah, yeah, look at what I've achieved. And I'll tell you right now, reason why I'm telling this story, most of you, your investment your investment is only important to you. A lot of those people, like in that place, I found the 7 deadly sins: jealousy, hatred. Talk about crabs in the barrel mentality. Like this guy at this point of this story, you've gathered that he is deliberately, sabotaging my operation, you know? So they showed up right on time on that Sunday before he would have the opportunity to do anything with the animals. But what he did, he divided them into two, kept half of my livestock for himself, and the other half, he was starving them. He wanted to kill them off. So these people came right on time. I rescued my own livestock while I was here in the States. And they picked them up, and he refused to give up the other half. I was like, okay, no problem. So I planned it. I said, you know what? I'm going to do the unusual. So I planned my trip. I never told you guys. So I planned it. Boom. I didn't tell anyone. I arranged for a place to rent. Oh my God. That also is another nightmare. That will be in another episode. The rental part. Renting from a Gambian that lives in the UK, a diaspora. This is a whole, I'm talking an entire episode. An entire episode. This is what, when you show a black Pan-African in the Gambia, this is what the people have been dealing with. The people that you see crying, they just rush to hate, right? They say hate. They don't, because they have been pampered. They don't understand this. But mind you, even though I'm being treated as black, they are convinced I'm black. But I know the languages. I know the languages, so I used it to my advantage. Because you see, when people think you are something else, at some point, just give in. You don't want to argue. You don't want to make a big deal about it. Just use it because they are giving you advantage. Imagine if you're black and you know all these African languages. You got the dollar, you got the blue passport to your advantage. You become a super human being right then and there. So I thought like I'm going to rescue my livestock, my investments. Little did I know I'm going on a undercover mission, study trip to uncover a lot of the difficulties and the dark information that is kept from people. I was on the mission to uncover all that. So when I dropped in the Gambia, because I arranged to get a place, and I made sure I went with enough cash, prepared for surprises and all that. I got there at the airport. I had to pay $20 to get in. No problem. I came to the immigration. One immigration guy tried to harass me about what my citizenship is. I was like, I am Gambian. He's like, no, but your passport says American. And blah, blah. I was like, look, man, I had a long flight. I have the visa. Can you just, I paid my $20. Can I just go by my way? He had no choice but to let me go. So I went, collected my stuff, went to my place of residence, relaxed, gathered myself together, and started on my mission. I went straight, you know, to the police station and I reported what I was there for. I tendered all my evidence and they called this relative of mine. They said, there is a guy here, Mr. Afridamus from the United States. He brought a complaint against you. So we want you to come and report at the police station. They put him on speaker. He said, oh, I cannot come. I am sick. Oh, yes, he was sick, all right. Because you see, guys, what I did there, shocked the hell out of him. You see, they use emotional manipulation against you. And most of you go for it. They count on, oh, we family. But he broke the code. The moment that person did that to you, guess what? They don't care about that. Why should you? So at this point, as far as I'm concerned, I am dealing with a terrorist, a psychopath, an enemy combatant. That's all I'm saying. Because this guy, I have videos of this guy holding my livestock hostage and even offed some of them. So I'm hot, guys. I'm hot at this point, but I kept my composure. So the police were like, look, man, you gotta come. Oh, we're gonna come get you. And he's like, I'm sick, I'm not coming. So the police hung up and they were like, oh, let's go get him. So they got in the car that I brought to the police station, put in two cops with me. We went to his place and we didn't find him there, but we went in the back and already scoped the place and saw, the livestock. But prior to that, half of the ones that he was starving, we already took those, right? So I was there with the cops. The cops show up, and the cop called him on the phone, was like, "Hey man, where are you at?" He's like, "Oh, I'm at my house." The cop is like, "No, we are over here at your house. You need to come right now. We don't, And then he's like, "Oh, I'm around the corner." So he showed up, and he, like he pretended normal, like everything is good. And he reached out to try to shake my hand. I was like, "Man, you better F off, And as we get him in the car, he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "I can't believe this guy, he's my relative. He's telling me to F off like that." I was like, "Is this guy for real?" So took him straight to the police station. Long story short, they interrogated him, and they found lots of holes in his story. I movement, don't worry. I'm about to get to that part. I'm about to get to that part. So this guy, they interviewed him, you know, intelligence. So they asked him, "How many sheep and goats do I have?" He started giving the number, and then he all of a sudden realized he gave, when they counted back, he realized they gave the number I presented. Then he's like, "No, no, 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 they died. Some of them died." They literally asked him a question like, so they're like, "Do you have your own sheep?" He said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I have them." They're like, "Does your sheep and goats ever like die?" He's like, "No, no, 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 no." They're like, "Just his?" He said, "Yeah, just his." And guys, just imagine, I'm over there, right? I'm hot, but I took a move. They are not used to this kind of move, because in his head he was thinking, "Hey, it don't matter what I do to this guy. He's not gonna come here no time soon. And even if he shows up, we'll just all sit and they would say it's a family affair. You talk it out." They're not thinking police. So I punched him in the face to show him I mean business. I want to send you under the jail, and I mean it. Right? I followed through. The police did their thing, and he had to give up those ships. But in that place, you're not gonna get real justice, okay? I'm just letting you know. Maybe there's justice, but look, the you coming from America, as far as the like the game is rigged against you. Like, again, you're just seen as, "Hey, you should be able to take all this. You got money, no problem." So the police are supposed to, like uphold the law, which they followed. But, if the police are trying to tell you, "Oh, yeah, just forgive him. This man cannot pay you, blah, blah." So at this point, you're like, okay, there's nothing that would come, much that would come out of this. But I devised another plan B. You have to be able to think on your feet. So at this point, all I wanted to do is to get the rest of my flock, my livestock. So the ones he kept, he put them in a special place. I mean, the sheep and the goat, they were pampered. He took care of them. He took care of those ones that he said is his. The guy even threatened to off himself. He's like, "I would have to kill myself to give this up." The cops are like, "Hey, I guess you would do it, but this man is going to take these today." So, you know, we agreed. So I'm taking my stuff. I'm happy. I'm like, okay, the job is done. I'm about to leave. And the cops are like, "Not so fast, brother." I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" So the person, my contact person I'm with, tells me, yeah, you gotta you gotta pay. You gotta, grease their palms for the job that they did. I was like, damn. So I had no choice. So I had to grease their palm. So everything started ringing. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay. Now I was like, I'm black. Like I am not seen as one of the people here. So nothing is gonna be free for me. Even things that they're supposed to do, I am going to be charged. Not only am I gonna be charged, you know, the prices, guys, mind you, man, when I show up, the prices go up. Man, one time the price went up on me so much. When I discovered, it was painful. I was so mad. It's like someone took a knife and stuck it in your heart because I was hanging out. I was hanging out with someone. And mind you, we went to spot to buy fish. And I'm like, we're about to enjoy this fish together. I'm like, yeah, you thinking you're on the same team with the person. But there is like a silent understanding amongst majority of the people against you. If someone has the opportunity to prey on your ignorance of not knowing the price, even this guy, the person that was the lady that screwed me over, the fish lady, you know, is screwing me, and the guy is standing right there. He did not help me, guys. He did not help me. Let me read some of this. DG said, it's new. I think I'm watching some FBA channel, not Afrodamus report. Well, I don't know what it is. Zongos Afrodamus, you are rejected by FBA in America and Gambia. Then what are you? Well, we're about to find out. That's right. This is the Akata experience. Yeah. It's a hate to break it to you. That treatment is for anyone coming from the diaspora. Dikira, I think I believe you now. I totally believe you. Yeah. So the guy is there. I got hit. And this guy did not even say anything. So to me, it was normal. Like I'm like, okay, I guess that's what they pay. Because in my head, I'm thinking, hey, this is like less than $5, like $2, no problem. But look, I know I've done shows here where I have called people crybabies for complaining why they jack up the price. Well, look, I feel their pain now. If you did not experience it, I guess they also wanna convey the message properly. I get it. It gets so annoying, and you're being treated different, completely different. You see, it's wild. So how did I discover that I was treated different? Another time I went with someone else, and I was like, yeah, I was over here, like I got fish, and I was like, yeah, I paid this amount for the cleaning. The person was like, what? Was like, what? Where? You overpaid. Guys, do you know how much I overpaid by? Man, they got me good. I mean, like these people, like that lady, no wonder that, I mean, she's like, hey, I'm over here. Every time you come, make sure you look for me to clean your fish. I gave you the best deal. When I told the other Gambian how much I was hit by, it was like, what? I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Guys, get the likes up, get the likes up. Yeah, the police too. After they did their job, I had to pay. So, so I'm like, okay, now I know the territory that I'm in. I recognize my situation, and I'm like, you know what? I'm seen as the ATM. But this because the ATMs over there, they do run out of money. They do run out of money over there. Like you go to the ATM, they're like, oh, there isn't enough money. Oh, like it would malfunction. So I was like, hey, since they see me as an ATM, I'm here in Africa, why don't I start malfunctioning? You know? So now I'm over there. I conquered this guy, got my sheep and goats. So the person he sends to go build my storage, he built it and then built the sheep house. The sheep house. Guys, when I got there, I could not believe what I was seeing. I was like, are you kidding me? Guys, this is why I never build anything, your structures, while you are, in the diaspora. Make sure you go there yourself. I'm just telling you. Because you see, your idea and your standard, I don't know if they can truly translate it. But I have a solution for all that. This is what this trip woke me up to. What is missing, what is needed, and how to protect yourself. So I get to the land, I look at the building, and I'm like, what in the world is this? I was like, this building is too short, you know? And I'm like, this building needs to be raised up, you know? And prior to even going to the Gambia, the guy working on the building asked me for some money, because I've already paid him over the amount that I'm supposed to be paying him, but he kept requesting for money. So since I didn't give him money, guess what? All of a sudden, his child is sick, is in the hospital. So I'm like, what? So he told me the story while I was in America. So 3 weeks goes by. That's when I showed up. And while I was there, he tries to tell me his kid is sick continuously. The kid, and I had to tell him I'm here in the Gambia, sir. I said, look, I hate to tell you, but look, people get sick, people die, stuff happen. Your kid is not the only one who is sick. You need to come do your job, you know? So Gambia, I swear, so far in my experience, majority, not all, but majority, are the only group of people I know that these people would bid for the job. You, it's not free, you paying them, but still they'll say, oh, I'm doing you a favor. No, sir, I'm paying you. And on top of paying them for a job that they ask for, you have to plead, you have to beg them. You have to beg them to come do the job. It is the weirdest thing ever. So mind you, now I'm in a different territory. So I have to use psychological games to get this guy to do the job. So I got him to the job site and I had to let him know what I'm willing to do, how far I'm willing to go. Because you see, when I got there, I made sure the news traveled that I took my own relative to the police. And you remember I told you there was a second plan? Then the second plan comes in. This Mason guy, he did try to correct some things, but he Now he decided to go to his home. He's like, I'll be back. And he never showed up. So it means this guy ran away with my money. So he's not answering my phone calls. He disappears. He is truly seeing me as a black American. Like, hey, this guy is not from here. There's no way he can find me. He's not going to be here long. He would go back to America. He gave me the American treatment. I was like, okay, no problem. I found me another team. And then I returned when I made another police report. And this time I made sure that relative that I took to the police. So I devised it. I want them to lock him up because I want the reputation. I want the news to travel to the other scammers who are already plotting against me to know how far I'm willing to go. So I'm using psychological warfare. So rightfully so. So I went, I gave my report about this Mason guy running away with my money, you know? So they had to bring the other guy to tell us where this guy is. But I knew he was angry about me taking him to the police. He, in his head, the type of warfare he's used to, he doesn't realize that doesn't faze me. Like, I don't care about that anymore. To me, I'm seeing him as an enemy combatant, but he's all in his feelings, thinking he's going to use that African strategy to emotionally blackmail you. Like, I have gone way past that because this guy have held my goats and sheep hostage, and I'm pissed. I want the guy to go to jail. So they called him. He came to the station, and he he's like hot on the police, getting all mad. Why are they questioning him? He claimed he don't know. So they're like, so I pull out another evidence. I said, see, this is what and what he scammed me, him too. Because I waited till he pissed off the cops. And the cops were like, oh, really? Okay. Come on. They put him they put him in the cell. The moment they put him in the cell, he's like, oh, hold on, guys, hold on. I know where the guy lives. But it was too late. He had to spend several nights there in that jail cell. So when they pulled him out, he was ready to cooperate. And what I did was I took the initiative myself. I went to go look for the guy. He was living, no, what if you were like just a black person, diasporan, regular diasporan, you don't know for sure where that guy was. There's no way you would find him. But I have local connections, deep local connections. So guess what? I went, found his home. We found his wife, had his wife call him on the phone. You know, he eventually showed up, right? We saw each other face to face. And he's like, yeah. I said, now I know where you live. So, I'm not going to let you do any work on the building because my building also, while I was dealing with this, I got sued. Yes, you guys heard correctly. I got sued in the Gambia. How did I get sued? Guys, it's like things just kept compounding. So while I was in the States, apparently, I got sued by two ladies. But they didn't sue me directly. They sued the people who, who sold the land to me. So they went to the tribunal court, which is the chief you know, the chiefs, they have their own court. So the chief, they look at it and they realize, they're like, look, you know, the way they were going with the case, obviously this woman is, you know, they were not happy with it. It was not in their favor. So the lady said she withdrew the case, but she already withdrew it there. But then she goes to the magistrate court. Guys, you should pay attention to this here. So in the magistrate court, it's a whole different ball game there. Man, they said Black Americans think they're the only ones being scammed in Africa. Exactly, guys. I'm uncovering the dark side. I mean, because this is how the game is ran. So this woman goes to the now she takes the case to the magistrate court. But mind you, this is a land case. The magistrate court has no jurisdiction over this. But how were they able to get this into that system? Guys, remember the corruption I was telling you about? It's rampant. Please get the likes up, guys. Get the likes up and do not hesitate to hit the super chat. As you know, I went there to uncover this experience and story for you that is watching me, so that you that is looking to invest eventually, you would be able to get the real information, so that you know you won't have to come on the internet here and cry. So this lady goes to the courthouse and they conspired with the clerk of the court. So you know, they put it, you know, he writes it in, put it as a case, because you know the clerk is the one that does that, right? So they added my name to the lawsuit. So now the clerk writes my name there. My name, I'm gonna eventually. So they write my name. So in the magistrate court, because they have a rule where, like, they can, even though I live in America, they can sue me, they can serve me. So if they serve me, right, if I don't show up 3 times, it means I forfeit. Like, they can enter judgment against me. So I'm in America, I'm over here doing YouTube, doing my stuff. I'm getting sued. I did not know this, right? But my people are doing the work. So they're going back and forth, back and forth. I'm not aware. Every now and again, I'll get little information, but you know, nothing serious. So when I showed up in Gambia, now, so the technique is they intensifies it, but they did not know I was there. So now they are ready to make their move. So the lady is giving them information saying, "Oh, this guy is the place is nice. He's building nice big houses there." So the lady's now fantasizing that she is about to get her a fully furnished farm with big house, water there, everything. This is how these people operate. But they have no idea that I was there in the Gambia. So they made their move. They went to my farm, and the clerk did his corruption thing and was able to issue an arrest order against my employee that is at my farm. They went there and they're like, he's under arrest. I was like, so while they were there, the guy calls me on the phone. I even talked to the cops. I was like, yo, what's going on? They're like, we have an order to arrest him wherever we see him. I said, wherever you see him, I said, he's at my farm. He's not, he didn't violate anything. He works for me. He's like, well, the order says wherever we see him. So I told my guy, I said, don't worry, just go with them. I'll figure this out. They arrest him. They take him to the local, to the jail there. I'm telling you a wild story, very wild story. So now I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm scrambling, guys. So I go and hire a lawyer, you know. But before hiring this lawyer, the guy, he's like uncle, his uncle, calls me. He's like, oh, are you such and such's boss? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we over here, we wanna, bail him out, but um, do you want me to leave him here till your lawyer calls in? I said, no, 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 no. I said, if bail him out right now, and luckily he did not stay there more than 45 minutes. He was bailed out. But long story short, I hired a lawyer, and but prior to that, they gave me the telephone number to the clerk. And I called him. I was like, hey, are you such and such? He's like, yeah. And I told him who I was. He's like, but you was, I said, he's like, but you were supposed to be in America. I said, I was, but I'm here. I said, I'm here. Now the guy is like confused. So I'm like, you know what? I gotta confront this guy head on. Like, it looks like I'm here for war. I might as well go all the way in. I need to step up to the plate. And I said, he's like, oh, we've been calling your name in the courtroom. You never showed up. I said, what courtroom? I said, nobody ever served me. I said, how can you serve me? I'm all the way in the United States. He said, well, your employee knows about it. That's why we arrested him. I told him straight up, I said, you want war, you're going to get war. I said, you are going to be hearing from my lawyer. He said, who's your lawyer? And I told him the lawyer's name, one of the biggest lawyers in the country there. He's like, oh, really? I said, yeah. So now I made the promise that this is my lawyer, so I have to now get this lawyer. Mind you, I'm from America. Like, I can afford this lawyer. You see? So it was not a big deal. I can afford him. So I go to the lawyer's office. It's on a Friday. They don't work on Fridays, but they don't like to work long days. And the receptionist is like, oh, do you have an appointment? I said, no, I don't. I said, but this is an emergency. She's like, oh, does the lawyer know you? I said, no, but this is the situation. She's like, okay, take a seat. And then she calls him, explains to him, and and the lawyer was like talking about he is busy or whatsoever, and he don't know if he's gonna come. But his last question was, does he have the cash to pay? And the lady asked me, I was like, yeah, I got plenty of cash to pay. And the lawyer agreed to show up to his office. And that was what I needed. So I gave him the information, the name of the guy. He calls the guy, the court clerk. The moment I gave the lawyer everything, the moment I told him everything, he knew the game that's been played. He called him. He's like, ask him. He said, who issued a warrant for this man's arrest? And obviously he had to admit that it was him. And he tells the lawyer that he said, I got sued. He said, I'm getting sued in the court. And guys, like, how are you suing him? He's not even here. He's like, well, we served his employee at his farm like that. So the lawyer is like, "Can I see a copy of this document?" And now the clerk is like tap dancing, and they ask him who issued this. So it turned out this was all from him. Total corruption. So my lawyer was like, "Okay, go to the courtroom in their next sitting. When they call your name, stand up and let them know you are the owner of that place, and just say that." So luckily there was a new magistrate. I showed up and I said what I said that. So the judge was like, "Okay, what we're going to do is we are gonna go, get do the hearing at your farm, because they were thinking that this was just an empty land, because that they were trying to pass it off as empty land. Mind you, the clerk that is even pulling the scam, because he's in on it. What they do is, I eventually uncover this, because those ladies, they don't have money to pay him. So they would agree that, look, we're gonna take this land from this diasporan. If we succeed, you're gonna cut part of the land and give it to us. So guys, this is valuable land. The land is all fenced up. I have few buildings in there. It's on the water. It's right on the water. You can't beat this, right? So I looked at the laws, and I made sure, I said to the judge, that the judge was like, "We're gonna do the hearing on your land. They're gonna come on my land to see." Okay, let me read some of this here. Audrey, welcome in the house. FBA Young Lion said, "Free Afridamus employee. That's messed up." I know, right? FBA Young Lion again. He said, "Afridamus chilling in America, living the good life while his employees rotting in a third world jail. That's insane." No, sir. He is free now. Okay. Did you miss the part where I said he was free? Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be sending him commissary. So 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 um so you know what they did? The same guy, the same clerk that is conspiring against me. So when it was time to like go to for them to go on my farm to do the hearing, he comes and he says to me, "Oh, sir, we would have to charge you $2,000 um for us to go there, which is like $40." I said, why do I gotta pay anything? I said, "I'm not suing anyone. I'm the one getting sued." I said, "Besides, I'm not even getting sued." Like I said, "Let me see the paper." I eventually saw the paper. Guys, you wouldn't believe this. They they did, the ladies were not suing me, right? The clerk wrote my name on the lawsuit with a pen. This is how I ended up as someone getting sued. Can you believe this? He wrote my name with a pen on there. So I'm like, "No, man." I said, I'm not paying. I said, "Why would I pay for somebody who is suing me?" I said, they are suing me. They want the hearing. They gotta pay. I said, "Because I'm not, coming with you guys. I got my own transportation. You guys figure out your own transportation." So I said I would be at my farm. So mind you, now we're going to my farm. This is my territory. Now I got power. This is my spot. So I, entered the car, with my people, you see, and we went to my farm and we waited. They came there. Mind you, this whole time, these women, they were thinking that I'm just some black diaspora. You see, this is what they are thinking. So they got to my farm, they checked around, and I raised my hand up to talk. I told, no, they spoke first, they did some of the translation. So now it is time for me to talk. So the translator could not, he doesn't understand, my American English. So he was like, oh, do you happen to know any of our language? This idiot, like, dude, I'm a Gambian. Like, what the hell? He's like, do you know any of our language? I was like, sure. I say, yeah, I can speak Mandinka. Guys, when I spoke Mandinka, one of the it's two old ladies. She went down and grabbed her knees. She grabbed her knees. They were so confused and embarrassed. She was like, oh, such and such was the one that told us that he is Jamaican. As if being Jamaican makes it okay to take my land from me. So this whole time, you know, the magistrate court didn't have any jurisdiction, mind you, and they also cannot take any case that is up to $1 million. So my land, I bought it, way over that, and so they walked around and they asked me and I started giving all the evidence, the exhibits. I pull out the brown envelope. The brown envelope has the document, all the documents of my land. I said, in this envelope, it has my documents, ownership of this land. I said, I'm the owner of this land. So the judge was like, okay, we're going to freeze all work until we, finalize the hearing. And I'm like, okay, wait. I said to the judge, I said, Your Honor, can I ask for a favor? I said, can you at least allow my worker to keep coming here to continue to water the plants? Because, guys, I've planted coconut trees, lots of them, oranges, mangoes, lots of tropical fruits, sour sap, you name it. So, bananas. So, a human has to come there and water this. So, if they don't water it, they're just gonna die. Can you believe this, guys? So these ladies now, I'm talking, you see some of these people, not all, but most of them, they are super evil. I'm talking evil to the core. So now it's like the jig is up, like, lady, okay, fine. You thought I was a Jamaican, you thought I was a black American. Now it turned out I'm not any of that. Okay? Because I found out. So they've done this to some black Americans, some Jamaicans. What they would do is they would bring you into this same thing they did to me. It's a scare tactic. So when they do this to a black person, they get scared and be like, you know what? F it. I don't want to deal with this. You leave. And rightfully so, man. The way they do it, if you don't understand the language, you don't understand the psychology, I can see why people run away. They bully you into giving up. They bully you into giving up. Audrey said, Black Seed will love your house, Afridamus, with all those fruits and food. Exactly. I know. So there it is. There's nothing behind it. Like, they just come, they set up this case. First of all, if it's a land case, they go to the magistrate. Mind you, the magistrate court does not have any jurisdiction over this issue to begin with. Exactly, Zongo, they drive away foreign investment. So you will have to fight for your own investment. So I faced these people head on. So I have videos even. I secretly recorded them, you know, while we were at my place. And also, what is it called? Uh, they said to me, like, the hearing was supposed to be on a certain date. So at this point, they put a complete stop to my work, the work that I was doing. So that gave me time to, relax, you know, uh, you know, come up with strategies, second plan. Because I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna run away. Like, because most people tend to be in disbelief. I can't believe they're doing this to me, blah, blah, blah. No, I was like, I'm like thinking, I'm devising the next move, waiting for the court date. They granted my worker the permission to continue to water my plants, my trees and all. It's good. Sometimes like these people, like I mean the evil, they wanted all my plants, everything to die. They wanted them to die. Can you believe that? So most people don't fight. And when you don't fight, you lose everything completely. Prior to the to the hearing, on the day of the hearing, I came to my place and I'm leaving. They went and hired a special marabout. If you don't know what a marabout is, I guess they are, fortune teller. If you don't, I have videos. I recorded the marabout because when they saw me, I passed by, ladies like, he's over there. And the marabout came out with his long beard, and I pulled out my camera and I made sure that I recorded him, you know. And long story short, we went back to the court and they lost. They lost. Imagine if I didn't fight. If I didn't fight, I would have lost my land completely. So all, the majority of these people, let's say they want to relocate to Gambia, the diaspora, like Kwesi and all those people, they really, truly, they never get to this level. To be able to uncover this, you have to go all the way. I'm talking all the way like I did, you know, like I did. That's how you would find out what this is all about. But most definitely, the place is filled with sharks, hyenas, you name it. They're lurking all over the place. When you get there, take your time. Stop telling everyone and their mama your story, or telling them about how you hate America, how you are a victim. Look, they don't care. No one really cares. You are the only person that cares about that story that you're telling. You're best to even go stand in front of the mirror, and that person you see in the mirror, tell the story to that person. That's the only person that cares. Yes, it is war. And for the other Africans who are in the West, do not let yourself be talked into buying land without you even being there. That makes no sense. If you don't have a green card, why would you buy land? Why would you even attempt to build anything? Some people might succeed, but this is what is more than likely to happen. If I couldn't go, if I did not go at the time that I went, I would have been telling you guys a completely different story here today. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's show. I'm not going to open up the lines. I just want to give you guys a little introduction to my trip back there in the Gambia. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Let me read some of these comments before I leave. DG said that is how the game is played, Mommy Africa. Unfortunately. Absolutely. Guys, this is how the game there is played. Like you are going to be eaten alive if you show up weak. That is a fact. And I have the solution for all this. That is the reason why I stayed this long out there. I have the solution. And as 2024 continues on, I would be unveiling all of that, to you folks, and you would finally, get to see the videos of the goats, the sheep, and the farm itself. I know you guys can't wait to see them, but yeah, that's what the story has been. Yeah, since I've been over there. Um, let's see. Let's see here. But yeah, you have a lot of people who say they're Pan-Africans, for instance. Hey, more power to them. Okay? More power to them. But you have to ask yourself the question. I mean, what is your idea of Pan-Africanism? What is your idea? Are you supposed to lower your expectations? Do you have to, pretend like when you're getting scammed or screwed over, you're supposed to pretend that it's not happening? No. You take the people head on. And trust me, if I didn't do what I did, my story would have been a sad one too. But that didn't happen here. So I have a lot more stories coming up. We're at the 2-hour mark, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm out.
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Big flex, my swole up. Double cup and I'm pulled up. Niggas hating like hold up. What's the problem? I'm pulled up. Big flex.